Hi, today we're going to talk about solving systems of equations that are given in word problems. So honestly, for math, the most useful things are word problems because that is real life. So I'm just going to give you an example of a word problem that has a system of equations. Usually a word problem with a system of equations is going to be a word problem with two different situations or maybe two different options. And then the question is going to ask you to set them equal to each other, or it will ask you at what point are they equal to each other? And then that's what you need to solve for. A very common one that I've seen anyway is phone plans. So for example, phone plan A charges $35 a month plus $3 for every gigabyte used. Gigabyte of data used. Phone plan B charges $50 a month plus $1 for every gigabyte of data used. Okay, and then you could be asked to figure out, well, for how many gigabytes are these two phone plans the same? That is what the question would ask. For how many gigabytes are these two phone plans the same? So we're going to write an equation for each. So for phone plan A, sure. We're going to have y equals, so y we're going to be our amount of money, equals our slope has to be the thing that's happening over and over and over again. So if we're just talking about for 1 month, when are they equal to each other, then this is just like a flat fee. So it's not happening over and over again, it's just happening the one time. But the gigabytes cost is happening every single time we use a gigabyte. So 3 times x, where x is the number of gigabytes, plus the $35 flat fee we have to pay no matter what. And phone plan B, the total cost is going to equal, it's just 1 times x, which really we could just write x, plus our flat fee of $50. There we go. Well, now we could actually graph these two. Okay, so we have a y-intercept at 35 and a y-intercept at 50. And my 35, I have to put a point here, and then I'd go up 3 over 1. Now, obviously, on this that I've shown you, I can't actually do that. Okay, but you get the idea. It would look something like this, right? Up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1 a bunch of times. And then this other one, the y-intercept is 50, and the slope is 1, so that's just up 1 over 1. So it's not as steep. It looks something like this. And this is where it would actually intercept. And let me find a graph so I can actually solve this for you to figure out what the answer is. Okay, so after graphing it, I went through and actually did the work because I'm sorry I can't do it over here. But we would have found out that it would have gone over 7.5, which means that they will have the same cost at 7.5 gigabytes because our x value is 7.5 and x was the number of gigabytes. So 7.5 is the x value. So at 7.5 gigabytes, the two phone plans are equal to each other. And the y value ended up being 57.5. So the total cost for 7.5 gigabytes is the same for both phone plans, which is $57.50. So the solution is where they cross at 7.5 gigabytes and $57.50. So that's the other thing I want to talk about is when you have a word problem, the solution actually has meaning. It's not just this point, 7.5 comma 57.5. But it's actually in the context of the problem, gigabytes and cost of the money, or sorry, cost of the plan for that many gigabytes. So that is solving systems of equations in word problems.